may remember the 60s as a decade of surfing, go-go dancing and a young John Farnham. As manufacturers though, you'll forever remember the glory days of industry, employment and prosperity that put Australian manufacturing firmly on the world map. In May 1961, a new journal called Manufacturers Monthly, or MM, launched with the impressive tagline, "You need the 2 M's to keep you informed of what's happening to the 4 M's. Money, men, machines, and materials of industry." Designed to keep industry executives abreast of news and advances in technology, the magazine heralded the benefits of methods engineering, now known as lean manufacturing, and provided tips on short production runs. In support of Australian business, the magazine immediately covered the issue of import restrictions, publicising the high value of Australian goods. It was a time when manufacturers had to be innovative and resourceful, and Australia's underdog values shone. In 1963, the Queen visited Australia for the first time to ordain a new industrial suburb, suitably named Elizabeth, in the north of Adelaide. Elizabeth was a new working area set to boom off the back of industry. Public housing had been built to cater for the thousands moving to the area, representing growth, prosperity, and a pioneering spirit. Top of the list of royal visits in 1963 was Elizabeth's new GM Holden plant.
Now the royal visitors will see some of the production activities at the Elizabeth plant. The royal party proceeds to a display featuring a Holden sedan broken down into its 17,000 parts. The Queen shows a keen interest in the display and is provided with some of the facts and figures relating to the manufacture of more than 600 Holdens each working day, and told of the company's other products: Vauxhall, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Bedford, Frigidaire and Nasco.
Today, car manufacturing in Australia is still characterised by a pioneering spirit, with many of the best new manufacturing technologies originating in automotive plants across the country. The 60s was a growth era for Australian manufacturing. The automotive industry introduced the inline transfer machining of engine blocks, the rotodip paint process, automatic conveyor assembly processes, and major advances in just-in-time and flexible manufacturing concepts. Manufacturers across the country were quick to integrate these new processes into their production lines. In fact, many advances that were developed in the 60s are still used in everyday manufacturing now.
If we speak of Australia's background in engineering, it certainly is true to say that few nations can compress less than 200 years so rich and expanding history as that of Australia. It has been a period of wonderful achievement in which the art of engineering has played a vital part.
Over the next 2 decades, Australians were rocked by the effects of war and recession. The rise of feminism and civil rights were on the agenda. Manufacturing was dealing with its fair share of pressure, forced to abandon its "she'll be right mate" attitude and adopt new technologies to keep up with the global market. It was no longer enough to simply manufacture good quality product. Businesses had to use smaller amounts of material to save costs, be aware of waste and the environment, grapple with progressive union demands for equal pay and wage rises, and all the while, import competition was growing. The 1970s saw a huge uptake of computer technologies to lift production efficiencies. Manufacturers Monthly magazine reported on the new breed of engineering consultants, along with safety issues associated with noise in the workplace, and Bob Hawke and his crusade to develop a law against price fixing. Rising Asian economies, along with the economic boom and bust, meant the 80s was a tough decade for Australian manufacturers. The industry saw a rising uptake in automation, including sensor technology, and also the introduction of 38-hour weeks in the metals industry. efficiency, uptime, and output were the three most important things for any manufacturer trying to compete on the world stage.
Robotic Automation are the Australian agents for the Yaskawa Motorman robot. The S-Series 30 and 60 kilogram robots, as shown, are the centerpiece of the robotic palletizing systems.
The 80s were indeed a decade of great change, an era of accord where industry, unions and government sought to work together. From the 1990s, Asia's integration with Australia intensified. Reliance on robotics and automation grew as competition increased. Manufacturing grew steadily and productivity was the word of the hour. As the 90s gave way to a new century, safety systems in the plant became a concern for management, as did the growing need for skilled workers. In the future, Australian manufacturers will develop new energy sources, oil-free cars, modular housing, low-fat natural foods and more. It will be up to you, the manufacturing industry, to make this a reality. And Manufacturers Monthly will be there, reporting on these developments for the next 50 years. From the team at Manufacturers Monthly, we'd like to thank our readers who have given us such valuable feedback, our advertisers who have supported us over the past 50 years, and you, the industry, for welcoming us into your workplaces for half a century. Manufacturers Monthly, the voice of Australian manufacturing.